Heidelberg announced it.
Heidelberg.
Are they?
Yeah, I think Sunshine, Brunswick Painters. I think all the
It's
don't
orange.
you think
No, but it depends if they draw an MPL team. If they draw an A-League team, they play at home. If they draw another MPL team,
normally they give preference to the
no.
100% if they play in an A-League team, but they're saying if they're going to play in a team like where they're going to get more credit.
No, but it's not about that. It's about that's later on.
When those ball gets
Drawn first. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's how it is.
They were saying that they're going to give players free preference.
No.
That was a good job.
Yeah, it is.
Imagine more sunshine playing down to
In Lisa,
the melee until sunshine. Sunshine, that's the. Yeah.
You see when they score, they pan to some guy jumping on the bench behind the goal.
Oh, really?
the goals of the 30.
Yeah.
Like that, he was on top of that thing.
Magic in the cup.
Trust me, we can have most of the
You know, like, that cup game at Sunshine, what, that atmosphere was
Are
real.
you involved with the Division 16?
No.
On 16 control.
Coming from you that said all the home teams are playing at home, so I can't believe it.
Listen, most of the home teams don't play at home, trust me.
Oh, it'd be good. Will does good in his game next week, then no one else got a chance to get there.
Actually, isn't it, what's his name? He's only 16, right?
Drop. Oh, you didn't get 30 last year.
He'll be on the 16th. Listen, another coffee. Another coffee with you.
Yeah.
So the last game is South Melbourne.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
I've got to turn it on first.
Oh, you use the
I've got to
iPad?
do the pre. Yeah, use this one.
Yeah.
Hey, the only reason I told you to get up there in case my one doesn't work, I'll get it off you.
Testing, testing. Can you hear? Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Can't hear me. That's
Can you hear me?
Ah, where's your thing? Yeah. Do you have a audio thing? Yeah. This.
Oh,
Testing, testing,
still
testing.
can't hear you.
Testing. Should
Can
be.
you hear us? Okay, so he's hearing us. So at the very least, the camera's picking it up.
You can't hear nothing.
Not through the headset, no.
Can you hear now? No.
Yeah. Tell you what, let's get rid of the extension lead. It is a cold but not unpleasant evening at Olympic Village here in Melbourne's inner north. The site of what is set to be a mammoth clash in the story of two sides, Senol NPL men's Victoria seasons. Round 22 of the campaign sees Heidelberg United playing host to Caroline Springs George Cross in what looms as a bona fide six-pointer. Two sides on the bubble of finals football doing battle in a game that, well, when we look back on this in a month's time, could prove the turning point in whether they play finals football or not. My name is Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for joining us this evening on the NPL Victoria YouTube page, no matter where you happen to be it here in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, or indeed tuning in from anywhere around the world. It is my absolute pleasure to be joined here on site, live and loud at Olympic Village in the gantry by my co-commentator Mark Ivkovic. Mark, thank you for joining me this evening. What are you most looking forward to? What are you most expecting from this clash this evening? Well,
it's a huge clash, isn't it, Joey? A lot on the line for both teams. George Cross presented with a massive opportunity tonight. If results go their way, they could find themselves inside the top six come the end of the weekend. And then with only a few games to go, they do have a difficult run home, but fate will be in their own hands. And for Heidelberg, well, six games without a win, they really need to find that winning formula again. That, you know, they started off the season in good spirits, but obviously fatigue's started to kick in for them, and which has resulted in them fighting for a spot in the finals now.
Indeed, Mark. As you say, it was a good win for Heidelberg United midweek in the Australia Cup against Cumberland United, booking their place in the round of 16 of the national competition. But things not going so well here in the Senol NPL men's Victoria. Their last league win came against the Dandenong Thunder. All the way back in May. They went the entire month of June without picking up a win, July as well. 6 league fixtures without a win, 3 losses that gave way to 3 draws. They did win the return fixture of this clash earlier in the season. They won it quite comfortably, 3-0 out there at City Vista Reserve. Jay McGowan double and a Nick Duarte goal in the second half. All of those goals scored to seal the result, but certainly coach Johnny Anastasiadis' side looking to get back amongst the winners because, well, Mark, the schedule, it's not going to get any less full in the weeks ahead for Heidelberg, is it? No, they've got some big games coming up, don't they? Doherty Cup final in a couple of weeks' time against Preston, and then the round of 16 in the Australia Cup, so not ideal for a team that is very tired at the moment. Well, for Heidelberg United, as you might expect, a couple of changes from the side that beat Cumberland United midweek over there in South Australia. No change, though, between the sticks. Yaron Souza still out with what is, well, looked at as maybe a medium to long-term injury for the Burgers. Hopeful to maybe get him back before the end of the season. But it's Ashton Bonsall who remains between the posts for the Burgers, the backup keeper signed from the Goulburn Valley Suns, as Lesiotis boots this ball long early. Giving chase for it was Max Bassetto, one of the newer players in the squad. What didn't feature in their 0-0 draw with Altona last week, came off the bench against Cumberland United. He'll start this one. As that'll be a goal kick. Joining them in the starting 11, you've got Ben Collins, Ryan Lethlean, Tas Mortakudis, Anthony Lesiotis, Marcus Mbao, Kieran Bramwell, Tobena Abani, Kane Razmovsky and Jay McGowan. The Georgies, who picked up a 1-0 win over Melbourne City last week. That one was another bit of a six-pointer, defeating Melbourne City's NPL side out at City Vista Reserve. They've got Christian Sicilianos in goal, Michael Soutsidis, Yagub Mustafa, Nicholas Dibb, Hassan Jolla, Leo Marzis. Luke Lofts comes back into the starting 11 after being on the bench for the last couple of weeks. Jack Pope, the goal scorer against Melbourne City, Ross Vasilidis, Maker and Otman Benadou. So just the one change for the Georgies. What do you make of that Heidelberg 11, Mark? A couple of big names on the bench. Christian Theoharis makes way. Asahi Yokokawa as well. Chok Dao. So some firepower to call upon for Johnny Anastasiadis, if nothing else.
Yeah, it is a fairly strong bench tonight. Obviously, in the past week, they've rotated a fair bit. Even in the league game against Altona, saw Lesiotas and Collins on the bench. So, it's a lot of games in 7 days for them. Plus, they had the fact that they had to travel to Adelaide on a synthetic pitch as well, which isn't ideal for them.
As Yagub Mustafa's attempt to boot the ball clear is charged down, but that will ensure his side will have a goal kick. So Luke Lofts and the newly signed Hassan Jolla leading the line for the Georgies. Hassan Jolla opening his account for Caroline Springs back in round 20. 2-2 draw with St Albans. Siciliano goes long again in the direction of Mustafa, who switched to the number 7 with the arrival of Hassan Jolla. Had number 9 to start the campaign. Habani's attempt to clear is immediately picked out. The switch of play by the Georgies, looking to strike early. Marzis weaving into the area onto the left boot, but he just sort of got it caught up underneath him, and it's cleared away for a corner.
That's the danger that George Cross do possess going forward. Leo Marzis has had an incredible season for them this season.
So the short corner is taken. Delivery comes in, bouncing an awkward one, appeals for a handball, immediately waved away. Now Jay McGowan looks to break, the sliding challenge comes in and it's waved away. And then Anthony Lesiotis will inadvertently carry the ball out.
Jeez, that's some tackle there from Michael Tzidis. McGowan looked like he was going to keep streaming through, but Tzidis kept pace with him, and then that lunging tackle.
Mustafa trying to carry it away from the marker at his back, but that brought him into the attention of Besetto. Has another go now. Shields it from Humbert. Gets it to Pope. Marzis out there on the left. Leo Marzis now cutting inside onto the right. Boot beats one, beats a second, but then goes down as he runs into the third in the form of Marcus Humbert. Switch of play out to the right flank. McGowan, central for Humbert, tried to just kiss it onwards to Besetto. Didn't come off. Benadu carrying it forward, and again, looking for Marzis out there on the left. The Georgies, they know who the danger man is, but on that occasion, the ball is going to get booted clear.
Yeah, imagine you're going to see a lot of that tonight, a lot of those balls shifting out to that side that Marzis is on.
Lofted in towards the back post, and it will fall. And then the flag will go up very late for offside.
Very late there. It's good defending by Obani, though, putting his hands behind his back. The ball could end up anywhere.
Othman Benadou just having a word with the fourthie, making clear his opinion that there's been a couple of handballs in the penalty area. Just looking at the Burgers 11, Mark, it appears as though there's been a late change from the team sheets that were submitted. Asahi Yokokawa's out there and Ben Collins is not. So, bit of a shift in very late on. We'll maybe have to try to find out what's happened to Ben Collins.
Yeah, he did start on the bench last week against Altona. Did start in the cup for Heidelberg, but obviously...
Yeah, was listed on dribble as a starter.
Yeah, it must have been a late out. I did see him warming up, to be honest, so something must have happened in that warm-up.
Nonetheless, as we mentioned before, Asahi Yokokawa, pretty handy player to bring in, whether it be off the bench or from the start of the contest. And there he is, letting it run, getting it to Ryan Lethlean. Dement Abani, high left-footed ball in, but there's nobody there at the back post, and it will roll out.
Yeah, that's been a common theme for Heidelberg in this winless streak of theirs. Just that delivery into the area has been really poor. And we've associated with that great combination play going forward with Heidelberg over the last couple of seasons under Johnny Anastasiadis. But those tired legs just can't get that right quality in that final third at the moment.
Staffer heads to central, seized upon by Tas Mornikudis. Basetto has it poked away from him by Benadou. Heidelberg retain the ball, Lesiotis to Abani. Mornikudis spears it out to the right, but that's going to sail well over the head of Razmovsky. Razmovsky came off the bench in the cup, but it's his third start in a row in the league for the Burgers since he arrived from Melbourne Victory. Was a regular starter for Victory's VPL 1 side before the changeover. Played forward, Siciliano there first to just clear it out. So, approaching 10 minutes of this contest and it's sort of simmering.
Yeah, very tame start from both teams. Probably the way I expected it to go, to be honest, Joey. Just like to see George Cross probably press that Heidelberg defence a little bit more, especially when they start knocking it around. We've seen over the past couple of weeks the mistakes that they have made in that back four, in particular against Melbourne City a couple of weeks ago.
As the Burgers will gain a few metres before getting another throw in. Yokokawa's receive, though, is poor. Now the Georgies have it. And again, Mark, just as you said, just early stages we've seen it from the Burgers. Just a few wayward touches, a few poor passes.
Yeah, just something seems off with them, doesn't it? Yokokawa, yes, they might be tired, but just the basics they're not even getting right. It's just a team that's really low on confidence at the moment. They're so used to everything going so right for them over the past couple of years, in particular last year.
Barney bundled over, the ref watches on. Had a good view of it, decided play on was the call. Bramwell bundled over. And eventually it will settle for a Heidelberg throw-in, I believe. And meanwhile, Kieran Bramwell has stayed down.
And just copped a stray leg there from Bernardo. Unintentional, but I think his knee probably got him in the back of the head.
Bramwell, his 9th start on the season, 15th appearance. 4th straight in the league. Marcus Mbao takes it short, gets it back from Lesiotis. Sends it back to Lesiotis. Ball in towards the back post. Just can't find Yokokawa's late run. And it will be a goal kick.
And both sides opting for short corners so far. Neither of them have worked out. They never do, Joey.
So another goal kick for the visiting Georgies on their quest to move into the top 6. We're going to play finals football in the Victorian top tier for the first time since 1996. And they finished third under Willie Vassalo.
Yes, he was my youth team coach a long time ago down at Green Gully.
So it's certainly been a long time between drinks since we saw the Georgies in the finals of the Victorian top flight.
What a story that would be, though, if they're able to find a way to make the top 6 this season. I'm sure Eric Vasiliadis will be a strong contender to be the coach of the year. You know, a lot of people had them tipped to get relegated, including myself in the pre-season previews. But geez, they've really worked their socks off in every single game this season.
As Hassan Jola worked hard there to win the ball back for his side. And they'll all get themselves forward in a hurry. Yaqub Mustafa now. Back onto the left. Did that take a touch off the boot? We're about to find out it did.
And that's reflective in their results. They've only lost 5 games this season, George Cross. 9 draws. But that just goes to show that they've been in virtually every game that they've played in, which is remarkable for a team that's newly promoted and hasn't had a squad turnover from the one that came up.
And they'll get an opportunity to take what would be a 14th minute league if they can convert this. Ball in towards the back post. Now, has that taken another touch? The Georgies think it did at the back post. I think it was Yokokawa. Adjudication from the referees that he didn't get a glancing head to it.
And Jack Pope just lost his footing at the wrong time at that back post.
Yokokawa had Divid his back. Got it to Razmovsky. McGowan. Lesiotis. Abani has found a lot of space on the left. It goes to left lead instead. Bear. Abani, heavy touch. Shielded the ball well enough to retain possession. Second start on the bounce for Tabana Abani after crossing over mid-season from the Thunder. Lesiotis wound up from range, had a charge down. Mustafa tried to hoof it clear, didn't make proper contact. Second attempt slightly better, still not convincing. Bramwell couldn't get a head on it. Bisetto sends it towards the top of the box. Bramwell chasing it down. A leaping clearance. Only goes as far as Lesiotis. Yokokawa had it taken away from him by Marzes. Both sides battling for it until McGowan is adjudged to have given away the free kick.
That was a very risky challenge by Tsitsides to clear that ball. Doesn't mind playing on the edge, does he, Michael Tsitsides?
Oh, we described it as no nonsense before the kickoff, didn't we? Like, and I think pretty much a no nonsense challenge there. Either get out of the way or get cleaned up.
But he's had a sensational season.
It started every game that he's featured in for the Georgies. Just missed 3. Partnering Maker today in the back line.
George Cross will be loving this stop-start rhythm at the moment. I'm sure it's probably semi-intentional as well. Just don't allow Heidelberg to generate any momentum or rhythm.
Well, they've got a pretty decent record on the road to the Georgies this season. Only lost 2 games. Plenty of draws, as you pointed out, Mark. Haven't actually lost on the road in their last 4 games. Coinciding with their run up the table. Indeed, last time they left City Vista Reserve and lost was back on May 2 when they lost to Avondale, so it's been a while. Basetto had it poked away from behind by Mustafa, but fairly.
I'm just struggling to move the ball up the pitch at the moment, George Cross. It's probably just more of a long, hopeful ball for Hassan Jalla, that he's not winning that battle with Ryan Lethlead, and the ball just keeps coming back to him at the moment.
Benadu's throw, the Hassan Jalla direction. Lofts lifts it up to Pope. He couldn't control it. Yokokawa gets it to Jay McGowan, who's vacated a lot of space on the right. Razmoski moves up to try to fill it. It's going to come across back to the left, a bit more congested. Yokokawa to Lethlead. More to Kudus. Lesiotis. Combines with Abani. Bear laid it off to Lesiotis, but wasn't the best ball. He was surrounded by red and white shirts, but somehow it's worked out for the Burgers. Ball whipped in from the right.
Ooh.
Bramwell just got underneath it.
Angled his body well, Bramwell there, just couldn't get his laces through it the way he wanted to. Probably put off by that late challenge from Bernardo. Positive signs for Heidelberg though. Good ball into the area.
Hope that attempt has brought the home fans to life as they try to spur their side into action. Maybe beginning to show some signs amidst what has been a tepid start.
His position again given away so easily directly from that goal kick.
Barney ghosts past Mustafa, then get past Maker. McGowan to Lesiotis. That's a poor pass. Razmoski, the intended recipient. Lofts couldn't find Mars cleanly. And he goes back and gets it well. And then puts the pass behind Mustafa. Heidelberg scramble back into their shape. Ball eventually comes in towards Pope. Not the most renowned aerial target, and it's going to go out for a goal kick.
Some ball into the area though from Bernardo. Those deep balls into the area, always so dangerous for defences to deal with. Probably the wrong man on the end of it though.
So Ashton Monzel takes it short, and Mortakudis sends it long. Steaming down the right, Yokokawa. Surely that's a free kick. No.
Jeez.
Play on is the call. Razmoski, heavy touch, poked away by Pope. Soutsidis, back to Siciliano. Georgie's looking to build.
It's not too many outlets for these Georges players. They're big gaping hole in that middle of the park.
Benadu's long ball, headed clear by Lethlead. Slidey challenge from Dib is a good one. Benadu, back to Maker. Pope. That's well, it didn't make clean contact, we'll say. Lofts pokes it forward. Lofts again. Forced the save from Bonzel.
Jeez. Talk about making something out of nothing. Just a few scrappy passes there. Finds Luke Lofts. We know he can hit them from that sort of range.
Has 5 goals on the campaign, does Luke Lofts. Equal second leading scorer for the Georgies behind Moses, who has 10. Lesiotis. Forward to Bramwell, who's dropped to receive. It's out to McGowan on the right. Yokokawa and Basetto in the middle. Bramwell arrives. Basetto tried to fly. Headed before he could get to it. Tight areas down there as Lesiotis and Umber try to combine unsuccessfully.
Defending their box well at the moment. George Cross getting a lot of numbers in there.
So, 23 minutes just about gone here on the scoreboard at Olympic Village. A few half chances beginning to creep in, but nothing too clear-cut yet. Bramwell with the Burgers' best chance. Lofts for the Georgies as Mustafa tries to spark something, but puts it well in front of Marzus.
Yeah, it's just the wrong angle on that pass. He was expecting Marzus to continue his run, but he kind of peeled back a little bit just to create some more space for himself.
So, the delay in the take. Sees the Georgies step up, force the Burgers long. Maker heads it back. Early as far as Yokokawa. Nice touch from Jay McGowan to take it away from one defender. Finds Basetto out there on the right. Just left it behind though, and Tsitsides will come to clean up and get it away. And here come the Burgers once more. Tomato Abadi. Left lead and Lesiotis. Left lead has it taken away from him. Lofts has to let the support arrive. First in the form of Pope. Now to Mustafa on the right. Players wait in the middle. Yagoon Mustafa into the area, onto the left boot. Didn't take the shot, eventually Dib does, but skies it. Well clear of the goal.
It's good work initially by Mustafa. It's always dangerous when you cut across that box, across the defender's legs. Anything can happen, but disappointing effort there from Dib.
Didn't really have the scope to shoot himself, did they? Mustafa, the Burgers did a good job of closing down the angles.
Yeah, that second man that came across.
Abani controls it with his tummy, really. But the press coming in from the Georgies. Sees Bonzel, well, just get it anywhere but here, really, and it's going to go out for a throw-in.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Joey. That's what George Cross needs to do throughout the game in those type of areas, just press like maniacs. We've seen that the errors that Heidelberg can make. Just lost that confidence to play out of a press at the moment.
Jack Pope, ball in his hands, hurls it goalward. Left leg got a touch. Proved to be an important one as it's subsequently cleared away by Basetto. Bow got the road. Poked away from Basetto's run by Dib. Sorry, Lofts. High ball in. And Ashton Bonzel will watch it in and then throw it away quickly. Jay McGowan didn't see anything he liked ahead of him. McGowan. Central to Bramwell. Out to Besetto on the right. Low ball in. Couldn't find Yokokawa. Cleared away, but only as far as the Burgers backline. Oh, McGowan slipped. Subsequently took out Baker.
Yeah, it hasn't been the greatest performance from both sides in this opening half hour. Just a lot of silly errors. Even that clearance there from George Cross is just a nothing long ball. There's not even a look up to see where your teammates are.
We haven't really seen a lot of Hassan Jola in this opening half an hour, have we?
Yeah, he hasn't had much service, really.
Yeah.
These long, hopeful balls coming up against Lethlean or Mutakutis, he's never going to win that battle. You know, he's a guy that needs to be played along the ground in behind. That's where he does his most dangerous work.
Siciliano steps up, set this free kick long, but he sort of sliced it, has he? No, finds Mustafa. Back to the keeper, but he's coming under severe pressure. Bramwell charges it down. And then Siciliano has to slide forward in front of Yokokawa. So crisis just averted.
Jeez, I just mentioned how scrappy this game was. Kind of defined it.
Both sides slipping and sliding around. Dib sends it long in the Hasajola direction. Doesn't get to him. Comes out to Pope. Leo Malazis. The cab Barron. Onto the right. Thought about the shot. Finds Pope instead. Ran into a teammate. And that'll see it bundled away. What a Kudus. Lethlean. Barney. That's a poor pass picked out by Benadou. The staffer, he's copped an inadvertent blow to the face, goes down, and that'll cause a stoppage.
Bramwell just dropping a little bit too deep at times as well. Doesn't need to come so deep into midfield to receive it. They've got the numbers there, Heidelberg. Just needs to stay up high and occupy those two central defenders for George Cross.
Sutsides sends it long to the left. Kept in? No, it's not.
It's offside. Yeah. Linesman did put his flag up for offside, but they've overruled it because the ball went out.
Staffer's header gets to Pope, who flicked it on. Lofts, back to Pope. Has a couple of players at his back, but he did well to get it to Marzes. Leo Marzes onto the right peg, close down. Razmovsky. It goes down. As Marzes attempted the recovering run, free kick.
He's defending him well, Razmovsky. He's aware of the threat that Marsdes has when he cuts in. You know that he's going to try and unleash that shot into the far corner. Every time he's tried to cut across, Razumovsky's been there to block it.
Besetto spears it out to the right. McGowan slides it through, looking for Besetto's run. Picked out. Sutsides again. Standing in the road. Looked at Hassan Jola. Couldn't find him. That one's just got too much mustard on it. Siciliano will claim.
It's a poor pass from Jay McGowan. It was actually a really good run from Bramwell. You could see he put his hand out wanting that. Just way over hit from McGowan. But that's what Bramwell needs to be doing, getting himself into those positions.
Maker. And again, just the ball to no one in particular.
So it's been a common theme in this first half for George Cross. Probably don't want to lose the ball in dangerous areas in the middle of the pitch, but there needs to be some structure to these long passes as well. It can't just be a long clearance to no one. Look what Tsitsides has pushed up extremely high.
Yeah, he's come a long way, hasn't he? Yeah, they're going to spear the ball long. Razmowski's come up. He's going to whip it in, looking for Basetto. Will fall to Yokokawa. Heads it wide.
Jeez. I dare say if they had found the back of the net, Michael Tsitsides would have copped a big ear bashing from his coach Eric Vasiliadis. There was absolutely no reason for him to be so high up the pitch and just stretch that back foot. Everyone was out of shape. And that's all it takes sometimes, Joey. Just a loss of concentration like that and your opponent to exploit that. Fortunately for George Cross, Yokokawa just wasn't able to capitalise on it.
Oh, here comes George Cross in response. That ball ricochets into the heels of Mustafa. Was able to recover it. Benadou working with him. Dib wants to find his right back, who's going to sprint forward, but we'll watch as Basetto shepherds the ball out. But Heidelberg creating another half chance that is spurned. Goals have proven very hard to come by, as you would expect for the Burgers during this lean run of form. Just 4 goals in their last 6 games compared to the 9 against. As McGowan gives chase to that one, collects it, back onto his left, high ball in the Bramwell direction, headed away. Lofts and Lesiotis battle for it. Lesiotis flicks it to Humbert, who gets it back to Lesiotis, couldn't find a teammate. Then that ball's just going to overhead kicked out by the acting Heidelberg skipper.
It doesn't look his usual self tonight either, does he, Anthony Lesiotis? There's a lot of stray passes tonight.
McGowan did well to win it, trying to combine with Yokokawa. Marcus Humbert. It's a strong, good challenge from Tsitsides. Just stuck a big right boot in and claimed it. But the Burgers will come forward once more. The Georgies really not able to put together any sort of sustained possession.
It's just such a big gap from Hasso Jallo to the rest of the midfield. There's a good 20, 30-yard gap between those 2 lines. Just no connection at all between that George Cross midfield and their forward line at the moment.
Yeah, the Burgers will have a throw in deep on their attacking right flank. Lesiotis tried the deft little flick and have a second go thanks to the deflection. Another big, strong challenge from Tsitsides. But the pattern can repeat. The Georgies repulse the attack, send it straight up the other end, and Heidelberg will reload. Siciliano claims that he's just able to keep his momentum from taking him outside the area.
It's like the game's being played like it's in the 90th minute and George Cross is clinging on to a 1-0 lead.
Yeah.
It's like they're parking the bus and then Heidelberg's trying to chase a goal.
That ball sent long in the Besetto direction. And to do with the clearing tackle. Mustafa trying to keep the ball from up there. Had support. Well, that ball roughly in the vicinity of Hassan Jalloh. Far too far away from him to seize upon it.
Yeah, these long balls just aren't working for George Cross tonight.
McGowan bundled off it by Maker. Tried to go on a run. Had his pocket picked by Lesiotis. For a brief moment, the Georgies' defence was forced to fill the gap. He'll amble back now. As Heidelberg try to come down the right. Razmowski. One way and then the other as he tries to shield the ball from Ross Lesiotis out there on the right flank. McGowan. Steaming into the area, trying to cut it back on the left. Abani. Cleared away by Maker. Left lead. Clever pass by Lesiotis for Bramwell. Had his shot charged down. It'll be a corner for Heidelberg.
Jeez, that was a beautiful pass from Lesiotis. He has been a bit sloppy tonight, but that's what we're used to seeing from him. You can see the pressure starting to build now from Heidelberg. It's bound to happen with how much possession that George Cross is giving up at the moment.
So Marcus Umber to take this. Both arms in the air, big stretch. Lofted in, Siciliano flies, the big double punch. Pope thought about going long, kept it along the ground. He gets the return pass. Nothing in front of him, and Lesiotis comes in with a tackle.
Smart by Pope. Got his head up, saw there was nothing on, just win the throw, get some numbers up the ground.
Kudus. Wanted McGowan, wasn't the best pass. Lofts, turns, sends it to Mustafa. Beats Abani. Trying to find the teammate, gets Lofts. Benadou, left-footed delivery, found Pope. Second time they've found Pope in the area. In either occasion, he's been able to turn a header on goal. Lofts again. Well, to the top of the box. You can see Leo Marzis with Hollywood in his thoughts for a moment. Thought better of it. Burgers eventually scramble it away. Yokokawa tried to combine with Besetto, didn't come off. The Bonzel will be able to jog out and claim it with no players in red and white in the vicinity.
They do look threatening, George Cross, once they get that ball out wide and deliver a ball into that penalty box, especially down this right-hand side. Mustafa's having a really good time there against Albani.
Oh, can they turn this into something? Hassan Jalloh. Lofts, central to Pope, but he was in an offside position.
Yeah, just made that run too early, Pope. See, he's been trying to make those deep runs, though. 3 or 4 times now he's tried to run in behind that back four.
Pope to Marzis. Haven't seen as much of him as we did in the early stages. He's He's been part of this move now that will end with the Georgies once again trying to find one of those runs of Pope, but Bonsall claims. Good tackle from McGowan's. Well, Tsatsides has gone on another adventure, only to have his pocket picked. But the offside flag will once again intervene.
Again, Tsatsides a little bit silly there. Didn't need to continue that run.
And it's a couple of times now we've seen Tsatsides do it. We've seen Maker do it once or twice as well. Is it maybe the centre-back's getting a bit frustrated?
This is how you do it, guys. Get on the ball, go for a run. Just got to track Tsatsides. How is he getting sucked into those high areas?
Siciliano goes long, offside.
Yeah, that was...
So, real disjointed game here as we head into the final minutes of regulation at Olympic Village.
Yeah, that was real laziness from Hassan Jallo. I saw that. Just didn't move with that Heidelberg high line. Got to be aware that the ball's going back to your keeper. Strong chance is going to come straight back at you.
Waterkudis' defensive header goes sky high. Lesiotis nods it towards the halfway line. Dib. Benadu. Out to the left. Marzis will keep it in. Rasmuski comes across to keep him company. Did well, did Rasmuski.
Did very well, just held him up. Marzis tripped on his own feet.
Lesiotis. The press of the Georgies, we haven't seen it that often, but it has caused trouble for the Heidelberg when we have.
Yeah, it is. It's their weakness at the moment this season, Heidelberg. They've conceded a lot of goals from trying to bypass the press by playing through it.
Well, Max Bisesso has stayed down on the turf. Looks in a bit of discomfort. We've played 44 and a half minutes here on the scoreboard at Olympic Village, and he's sitting up. Trainer hasn't been called for, so at a very minimum, one imagines he'll get through to half-time.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be any added time. If there is, probably just a minute. There's been really too many stoppages, has there?
Well, Ross Clark, our fourth official, has gone across to fetch the board, so he'll soon get rid of any uncertainty. 1 minute, you were bang on, Mo. Lofts, central. Jallo, back out to Mustafa. So got Lethlean keeping in company, so one of the big centre-backs, not in the area to defend for Heidelberg. Mustafa thought about the shot, went for Marzis instead. His shot blocked. Pope over the bar.
That would be typical of George Cross. That's, we've seen it so many times this season where they just give up possession for large chunks of the game and then just manage to find the way to score a goal. It's a good chance for Pope. He can strike him too. He's scored a number of goals outside the box in his time at South Melbourne.
So, almost certainly the last action of this half coming up. Mustafa. His ball forward, cleared away by Ryan Lethlean, and a half that will not go down as one of the classic halves of Senol NPLM men's Victoria football comes to an end, Mark Ivkovic.
Yeah, definitely not a classic, this one, but both sides probably a fair bit of work to do in the second half. George Cross really need to find a way to keep the ball a little bit more and get themselves into the game. And Heidelberg just need to get that end product a lot better.
So, goose eggs here at Olympic Village as we head into the halftime break. Heidelberg United 0. Caroline Springs, George Cross. Neil, about 15 minutes or so until we resume second half action here from Melbourne's Inner North. We'll see you on the other side for more action from the Senol NPLM in Victoria. Welcome back, one and all, to Olympic Village, the site of this round 22 Senol NPL men's Victoria matchup between Heidelberg United and Caroline Springs George Cross. And if you are just joining us on the NPL Victoria YouTube page, do not fret, you haven't missed much. The scores are locked at goose eggs, 0-0 between these two sides. And Mark Ivkovic, who joins me today on the call, not a lot really to discuss from that first half. A very tepid, non-classic of a 45 minutes.
Yeah, and it's both sides really, not just George Cross, Heidelberg as well. It's very scrappy, a lot of turnovers, a lot of misplaced passes. Just, it's both sides playing at a very low intensity at the moment.
Indeed, my name is Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for joining us for the second stanza of this one. As you can see, George Cross already up and about, ready to kick off this one. They were out quite early to begin this second half, Mark. I mean, you've been in dugouts and dressing rooms before when their messages are being delivered. What is that? Just because Eric Vasiliadis just said everything he needed to say, just gave them a bit of a hairdryer? Why would they have been out so early?
Yeah, probably exactly that. It wasn't probably too much to really go through, considering not much happened in that first half. So instead of just sitting around in the change rooms, better to just come out and keep yourself warm.
Well, the action now has resumed here at Olympic Village, booted along by George Cross, who will be looking to be a bit more connected in their interplay and attacking play as his second half starts, albeit the Burgers thought they should have had a free kick in the middle of the park for a foul on Marcus Umbert. Waved away. Now Mars is not able to keep that one in.
That is probably a better approach for George Cross, though, if they're going to play it long out wide instead of these long balls to Jallo. You know, he hasn't won one header against Lethlean all night, so you're better off going out wide, hoping that you can even pick up the second ball a bit easier.
There's McGowan, Yokokawa and Brumwell looking to combine. Brumwell back inside to McGowan, fell over his own feet, somehow found a way to get it to Yokokawa. Closed down by two, Marcus Umbert. Couldn't find Bissetto's run. A body flashed across the face of goal.
Yeah, that's more like it from Heidelberg. Quick interchange of passes. Good decision to play it out wide to Albani there. Had a lot of room to work with.
So it'll be a goal kick again for George Cross. Heidelberg stepping up to assume their defensive shape, force Siciliano to boot this one long. Mordakutis with the clearing header. Up for grabs. Bissetto flies, heads it down only as far as Pope. So Jallo battling for it, has it taken away from him. Maker steps up. Eventually spills to Pope. Yagoub Mustafa working against Abani. Pope charged down by Lesiotis. Ball up for grabs. Bissetto comes through. Can he keep it in? No, he can't.
Fortunate there, Maker. It's kind of pulled out of that challenge at the last second. Just didn't fall away off Bissetto. Little bit of a higher intensity to start this second half.
Heidelberg throw in on their left-hand flank. Marty hurls it forward and headed straight back from whence it came.
It's been a good addition for Heidelberg. Albani showed a lot of promise with Melbourne victory last season and was decent enough for a struggling Dandenong Thunder side. He's a Johnny A type of player, isn't he? Just a youth product with potential. Hoping he can mould him. So they've lost Carlo Sullivan, who started the season as that left back. Haven't seen him for quite some time. Assume it's a long-term injury for him.
The Burgers do a good job with picking out some of the best kids coming out of the A-League academies and putting them to good work. Marcus Bear, another one, recruited in the off-season. Well, recruited for the Australian Championship, I should say, from Melbourne City. Captain to their side that won promotion last season from the VPL1. Here he is on the ball now. Across to McGowan. Wound up. Thought about the first time shot. Took a touch and then enabled his man to come across and close it down.
Yeah, they look a lot sharper going forward in this second half, Heidelberg. A lot quicker passing.
Staff had it poked away from him, and now the Burgers may be able to get in behind. Ball's played across, but it's just behind the run of McGowan.
It's better off taking a shot in that situation.
It was Yokokawa that was maybe 50-50 in his own head.
It's really silly by Mustafa in the lead up to that play. Just cutting across the middle of the pitch. It's very, very risky. Lose the ball in that situation, you can get carved up like they did.
Razmovsky trying to spring. Besetto in quickly with the throw. Couldn't find him before it rolls out.
George Cross have, especially Maker and Tzidi sitting in that 6-yard box, they have not played out once tonight from their goal kicks. Better off just moving them up the pitch straight away.
That ball's going to come to Marzis on the left. Razmovsky had to be good, and he was, nipping in front. Playing it back to Bonzel in the goal. Marcus Bear. To keep it in, and then McGowan falls down theatrically, inducing a wagging finger from the referee.
Just got his legs tangled with Jack Pope. That's better from Tzidzi and Maker. Just pushing up instead of sitting in that 6-yard box.
So Jallo and Ornakutis both watch that one go over their heads. Comes straight back. Left lead. Brings it down. Not too convincingly. So it's back to his keeper. Risky business from the Burgers, but they're going to get away with it. And looking for Bramwell in behind. Headed away by Maker. The staff are getting back to take it away from Marcus and Bear. Shielded by left lead to Lesionis. Besetto to McGowan. To the top of the box. Yokokawa's attempted little deft flick in behind, blocked away. Heidelberg ball. And here we go. This is one of those free kicks that's almost basically a corner from this position. Get your centre-backs forward and try to find someone's head.
Yeah, just the delivery needs to be absolutely spot on from this type of area. They've got big height at that back post. Just need to get the right angle on the ball into the area.
Well, Ryan left lane, Tasmore Nakutis standing at the edge of the penalty area. Marcus and Bear was whipping the left-footed delivery. Kept it along the ground. McGowan inside the penalty area. Massive bodies in the road, and that's going to force him to shoot wide and unable to drag it back inside that far post.
Not a bad variation there. McGowan couldn't get that bend on the ball. Again, another player we've seen score a number of times from that position this season.
George Cross doing a good job of just getting, I think it was about 5 or 6 players between him and the goal by the time he shot.
Yeah, that's all he can do really, is just scramble in that moment.
Eric Vassiliadis barking instructions. Bit of a homecoming for him. Former Heidelberg United player back in the day.
He's a club legend down here at Heidelberg.
Yeah, 143 games, including a season in the NSL. And he's turned into a bit of a promotion specialist as a coach, hasn't he? First with Paul Melbourne and then with George Cross.
He's a lot of experience, Eric Vassiliadis. Like I said, the way he's been able to get this George Cross team to be consistently competitive this season is a testament to his coaching abilities.
As I said, it's been a long time between drinks at the top level for George Cross. Their first year back in the Victorian top flight since 2010. We're going to play finals football for the first time, as we said, since 1996 at this level. Pope will boot that ball long, but the mark will be taken by Bonsall. Of course, like I said, that's a very proud club. George Cross, very historic, former NSL side. Heidelberg United winning in the Australia Cup midweek. George Cross were the third ever champions of the Australia Cup, all the way back in 1964. Beat Apia in the final.
He's kept it in.
As here come the Burgers charging forward. But it's straight into the shins of Soutidis.
Again, the wrong option there from Heidelberg. Pizzetto just need to keep going on that run. Try and beat Soutidis 1v1. It did well, Soutidis, just to hold him up.
Well, George Cross steaming forward. Baker on another adventure. Got it to Marzes on the left. Rasmuski was handed a job tonight against one of the leading scorers in the Senol NPLM Men's Victoria, but he's done that job very well thus far.
Yeah, for me, he's been the best player in the park tonight, Rasmuski. You thought for all money that Marzes was going to beat him there in that 1v1, got his head down, but Rasmuski stood strong, as he has all night on Marzes. Probably that opening 5 or 10 minutes, had a little bit of joy, Marzes, but since then,
it's a good throw by Pope. Soutidis has come forward to put his big body in there. But his touch lets him down, and now he's got to chase McGowan. But did a good job holding him up, waiting for Pope to come in for the support. And then Pope's going to win the free kick.
Did well, Pope, to win that ball back. Committed a lot of numbers forward for this one, George Cross.
Indeed, Luke Lofts standing over it. The reigning VPL1 Players Player of the Year, Golden Boot winner. Couldn't find the teammate. Was spilt a dip. Looking for Lofts. It's going to bounce to him. Peels for handball, waved off. Mustafa. His cross charge down. Goal kick.
He's got that wrong, Lesiotis. I don't think Lofts expected Lesiotis not to win that.
Ball out to Abani on the left. Plenty of time. Decides go backwards is the best option. Kudus to left lead. Abani again. Closed down by Mustafa. Throw in. Lesiotis goes down under the challenge from Pope.
Intelligent play there from Lesiotis. He was kind of running into nowhere. just draw the foul.
Left lane sends it long. Rasmuski eventually gets it. Inside. Finds Marcus Umbert. Sahi Yokokawa. Low ball in. Couldn't drag it back to Brumwell.
Did well there with his first touch. Opened up a lot of space for himself. I don't mind that low-driven ball across the face of goal. Bramwell was starting his run too deep.
McGowan trying to flick it through for Brumwell. Tsatsides again with the important intervention. Marcus Umbert to the top of the box. McGowan back onto the right foot. Took a deflection. The Siciliano falls on it.
Tried to get it on that left foot, did he, McGowan, and then didn't open up for him. Did well to cut it back onto his right. George Cross just give away possession yet again.
As we approach the hour mark here at Olympic Village, remains Heidelberg 0, George Cross 0. There's Dibb with a good sliding challenge. Marcus Umbert winning it back high up the pitch for Heidelberg. Yokokawa goes down. Play on is the call. Well done by Abani. It's cleared away. And, well, you wouldn't say the game was roared to life, Mark, but maybe a few signs of life compared to that opening half.
Yeah, so some signs of life. Still not at the level that it should be at. I just feel like George Cross is probably lacking that self-belief in themselves that they can take this game to Heidelberg. The game's there to be won. They just need to believe in themselves a little bit more. It's a massive opportunity for them. You don't want to die wondering.
There's Pope. Intercepts. Jack Pope. Jallo. Closed down by McGowan. Forced back to Leo Marzis. Dibb. So just resetting and reloading is George Cross. Tsatsides. It's a maker. Closed down by Brumwell. Switch of play from left to right leads to naught, but Abani, well, he'll want that one back. Sloppy turnover.
If you look at that build-up play there for George Cross, there is nobody in that centre of the park. Jack Pope and Lofts just standing up high. There's a massive gap in that middle of the park. That's why they can't retain possession.
Well, it looks like George Cross will be the first side to make a change in this one. Justin Spiteri is shedding the bibs. And, well, it looks like we're in line for a debut as well, Mike. We'll get to that after this bit of action as the ball is hurled in. Not able to get a shot away, and it's going to be a free kick. Will that allow George Cross to make these two changes? Well, you've got Justin Spiteri coming on, and it's going to be a debut for Alex Saniel. Announced overnight by George Cross. Might be a familiar name if you were watching the OFC Pro League. Alex Saniel, the inaugural Golden Boot winner of the OFC Pro League. 11 goals with Vanuatu United. He's a 24-time Vanuatu international. He's a centre forward, as you might have guessed from him immediately jogging in that direction, and he's playing for the first time in Australia, making his debut tonight for George Cross.
Yeah, it was probably the best attacker in that OFC Pro League. Obviously, winning the Golden Boot, but just got pace to burn. Very similar to Tommy Semi, a name that's familiar to
PNG International.
Yeah,
foot like a tractor engine.
Probably a more fitter version of Tommy Semi.
Big, bad, bustling Tommy Semi, as I like to call him. That's a term of endearment, I should add. But yeah, started 16 of 18 games in the OFC Pro League for Vanuatu United, who fell in 4-0 to South Melbourne in the semi-final. But meanwhile, at the other ends, trying to get something going with Max Bassetto.
There was a few clubs circling for his signature in that transfer window, though. So interesting to see how he adapts to the NPL.
Well, a couple of changes made by George Cross. We'll see Heidelberg United return with two of their own, probably after this corner. You've got Chokdao and Christian Theoharis preparing to come on. There's big stretch. The corner preparing to come in. So top of the 6-yard box, headed away initially. Marcus and Bear! Made good contact, but not quite good enough.
Was good contact, a little bit slow to react to that George Cross.
So it'll be Jay McGowan and Max Bassetto making way for Chokdale and Christian Theoharis. Theoharis hasn't started a league fixture for Heidelberg United since signing during the mid-season window, but he did start midweek against Cumberland United in the Australia Cup. Chokdale coming off the bench in that cup game after starting last week against Altona. And Theoharis gets an early touch, getting on the end of that goal kick, sending it back forward.
Yeah, probably hasn't had the impact that he envisioned. Theoharis coming to Heidelberg.
Yokokawa trying to storm through, but make a maker with the good, strong challenge. Stuffer working out there on the right against Abani. Ball whipped in over the head of everyone.
Jeez, Samuel was very, very late to make a run into that box. I was watching his run. Just did not time that well at all.
Sutsitis heads it back only as far as Lesiotis. Chokdale sent it around the corner, but Georgie's clear it away. And I guess for the neutral mark, I imagine there's going to be a lot of people that are going to become fans of Alex Samuel. Always good to see players from the Pacific coming across to the NPL Victoria especially. As that's going to be a free kick and a yellow card against Marzes.
I think it went to Spitzieri there. I don't think it was as bad as it appeared. It's kind of turned his body, Spiteri, as he's gone for that challenge.
Yeah. He got immediately out of dodge and left Marzes to check on fallen opponent. My apologies to Leo. Yokokawa feeds the ball to Theoharis. Falls towards the far post, but nobody there to meet it. Chokdale will clean up. Stood up well. And there'll be a George Cross ball. So, looking at Sunday, we did host some OFC Pro League games here in Melbourne. Chance for the local clubs to get a first-hand look at the talent assembled. Tasmore Nakutis was, of course, playing in that competition as well, captaining Auckland to first ever OFC Pro League title, putting them in the box seat for Club World Cup qualification. South Melbourne, of course, involved in that as well. As Theoharis carries the ball to the edge of the penalty area. Back to Razmovsky. Floated to the top of the box. Bramwell chests it down. Abani just can't find an angle to goal the Burgers until eventually they do through Lesiotis. But Siciliano watches it and grabs it falling to his right.
Not a bad effort from Lesiotis. It's kind of a half chance. Managed to get a shot on target.
Strong from Mortakusas. Got it to Marcus Umbert. Chokdale now with plenty of space on the left. Charging forward, the winger, fresh off the bench. Only to, well, just lose it at the last. Rather sloppily in the end, actually.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to beat him. Benedou stood his ground as well. There's probably the fullbacks in this game have been the only shining light from both sides.
Mortakusas spears it forward for Yokakau. Rasmovsky, Theoharis, did he keep it in? He did. Theoharis does well to initially lose his marker, but then a heavy touch. And when you can see, anytime a Heidelberg player gets towards that penalty area, 4 or 5 red and white shirts materialise around him.
Yeah, they're just not allowing them to cut across and take those shots from outside the box.
Abani, Chokdale. Plays the way he's facing to Mortakusas. Lesiotis. Rasmovsky. Theoharis. Cross deflected away. Yaqub Mustafa. No real options ahead of him, so he has to hold the play up. Plays it back to Benedou. Pope wants it forward. Saniel was wrong-footed.
They've been so poor in possession tonight, George Cross. There was a good opportunity for them to keep the ball and make a forward play. Just another cheap turnover.
Rasmovsky went to challenge the ball, gets bailed out as that pass was sent in the Mars' direction. Could hear Johnny Anastasiadis in the dugout recognising what was about to happen before it did. Lesiotis has it taken away from him by Mustafa. Saniel had to let it come to him, but he'll shoot from outside the box. But Ashton Bonzall will get across. If that's in front of him, though, Mark.
Yeah, he just panicked a little bit, Saniel, didn't he? He had Mars out to his left. He's only had 1 or 2 training sessions with his teammates, Saniel.
Well, here he is again, trying to just knock it in behind the defence and run onto it. Use that pace that you talked about, Mark, but Lethlean aware of the danger. Well, a behind play, it looks like some cramping from Pope.
Yeah, you feel like with these specific players, they're better suited to out on the wings where they've got more space to use their pace. And that flick forward and run around the outside of the defender might work back home, but Ryan Lethlean a little bit too smart for that.
Yeah, Pope is able to get back to his feet, and as the designated long throw specialist, the Rory Delap of Caroline Springs will hurl this one in. Headed away by Bramwell. Claimed back once more by the Georgies. Ball lofted in, Abani, not blessed with height, couldn't clear it. Sent in, but Bonsall claims. Queensland-born keeper, signed from the Goulburn Valley Suns. We'll probably see plenty of action as Yaron Souza on the shelf with injury. Alex Saniel in an offside position. Marcus and Bear able to find the space to turn and advance on goal. And then just looking to find Chokdale, but he was slipping as he tried to play the pass, taken away. The 1-2 in the midfield. It's not a clean one. So a bit of feeling beginning to seep into this one now, a bit of frustration as Thea Harris plays at central to Marcus Mbea. Yokokawa trying to face goal, but Suitsidis. Well, we talk about some of the frustrations in the build-up for Heidelberg, Mark, but when they have gotten into the area, a lot of the time they've run into the brick wall that is Michael Suitsidis.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, Joey. He has been a brick wall tonight. Very difficult defender to beat 1v1.
Well, Heidelberg can have themselves another corner. Thea Harris with the delivery towards the back peg. Players fly. Then it's booted clear by Maker. Meanwhile, Daniel Cutler has shed the bib and is preparing to come on. And he will now receive his summons. 17th appearance on the season. Hasn't actually started since round 18 though. And it'll be Luke Lofts making way for him.
Yeah, started to tire Luke Lofts in the last 10 or 15 minutes.
So Daniel Cutler, he's got one goal in the season. It was back in round 16. George Cross's 3-2 win over the Danny Thunder. So if you are of a Georgie's persuasion, no time like right now for him to get his second on the campaign. 75 minutes gone at Olympic Village. Score remains Heidelberg 0, George Cross 0. Thea Harris past Leo Marzis. Just driving it through. Yokokawa almost got out of the way of it.
It's a little bit lazy there from Leo Marzis. Needed to win that ball.
Corner taken short. Back to Thea Harris on an improved angle. All the way out to the back peg. Headed back in. Brumwell turns and shoots. Again Brumwell. A third time. Marcus Mbea blocked away again. So many players in the road. Marcus Mbea. But look at the players behind him in red and white. Razmowski has a shot blocked. Left lean with a central defender's effort.
It's great defending from George Cross though. Desperation there to protect their goal.
And Heidelberg will now make a change. Asahi Yokokawa will exit, replaced by Anthony Theodoropoulos, who started in the Cup midweek, started against Altona last week, so maybe just managed coming off the bench tonight. Scored in the second minute against Cumberland midweek.
He's Mr. Fix-It for Heidelberg. Theodoropoulos plays at full-back, centre-back, defensive midfielder, attacking midfielder.
Left lane to Chuck Dow, ball to the top of the box, will fall. Brumwell couldn't get there before Suitsidis pokes it away.
Jeez, nearly got that wrong, Suitsidis.
Barney to get rid of it rather quickly because Mustafa was lurking. Ditto for Bonsall. Georgie's appeal for a free kick, and they're going to get one in a dangerous position. So, not a lot of sustained attacks by the Georgies in this second half. Well, throughout the entire game, really, but they got a set piece opportunity now.
I can see it, Joey. I can see him scoring from one of these free kicks or corners, George Cross. It's been one of those type of games.
Is that Ross Vasiliadis across the take? I think it's him and Otman Benadou standing over it. It will be Ross Vasiliadis to whip it in towards the back post. But just a bit too much on it. Got it away from Daniel Cutler.
Yeah, just a little bit too much on it. It wasn't a bad idea. Just hit it with a little bit too much pace.
Dude, Culler was making that late run into the box to meet it. Meanwhile, Heidelberg going to go straight up the other end. Chokdale poked away at the last by Maker. And from one end to the other, one set piece met by another. Burgers get the numbers forward. Not the best delivery. Doesn't beat the first man. Have another go, Chokdale. Whipped in. That one a bit better. Siciliano with the punch. Falls to Theohara. Shot blocked. Top of the box. Heidelberg queuing up. Another shot blocked. And the numbers back means that Heidelberg can have an uncontested reclamation of the ball in their own half and come again. But we're about to hit 80 minutes gone on the scoreboard here at Olympic Village. Remains 0-0. Abani trying to change that. Sends it in over the top of Bramwell. Leo Marzis clears it away. Theodoropoulos to Razmovsky. More to Kudus. Left lean. Lesiotis couldn't control it. Neither could Maker. Theodoropoulos. Little pirouette. Across to Chokdale. Thought about the shot. Instead finds Theoharis. Theoharis' delivery. Falls to Theodoropoulos. Shot blocked. Out for a corner.
Jeez. That was a good build-up play by Heidelberg, though. Really crisp passing. Good ball into the area from Theo Harris. Theodoropoulos, though, has made the world of difference for Heidelberg going forward. He's been really good with his feet, making the right decisions at the right times.
Chokdale's delivery. It's a high one towards the back post, but a foul has been spotted. So 81 minutes now gone on the scoreboard here at Olympic Village, as we trudge closer and closer to a scoreless stalemate.
Georgians really need to go for it in this last 10 minutes. A draw doesn't really help them too much. Yes, they don't lose distance on Heidelberg, but this is a golden opportunity. It's a tiring, out-of-form Heidelberg team they're facing.
Abani charged down. Is this the moment where George Cross can strike? It is not. Sutsitis, high clearance. Left lane also high, but not so much clear. Bramwell shields the ball, trying to spring Chokdale in behind. Will eventually get to him. Theoharis goes back to collect. Marcus Humbert with the return pass. All in the Abani direction. Benadou getting across for George Cross. Barney stood up. Lesiotis. Dinked ball to Bramwell. Couldn't make proper contact.
That's the best chance of the night, Joey. That's a free header for Bramwell inside the 6-yard box. Needs to do better in that situation. Got to at least hit the target. Huge chance for Heidelberg.
Well, Mark, as we get closer and closer to Heidelberg going 7 games without a win in the league and scoring 4 goals across that stretch, is this, you look at them last year, someone like Buljuarch, are we seeing the effects of him leaving?
Yeah, definitely. That's been their issue all season. They never replaced the players that they lost properly.
Well, can they make fools of us both right now? Coming forward. Theoharis onto the left peg. Awkward bouncing ball, just blocked away by Siciliano. Bramwell, shot blocked by the defence again. Chokdao trying to turn. Good challenge. And again, George Cross, the numbers game in that penalty area, keeps coming up big for the visitors.
Again, no out ball. You see there, even when Mustafa's on the ball, there's no one in front of him.
Senol combining on the 1-2. Pope scans as he receives. Carries it forward. Leo Marzis. 10 goals on the season. Stood up by Rasmovsky again, though. He has shut him down for pretty much most of the night. Tsitsipas, ball out to the right, and Mustafa was offside.
You can't be offside in that position. The opportunity to go forward has been so limited for George Cross. That's a shocking position to be in for Mustafa. Need to be more aware of your surroundings. Looks like 0-0's the theme of the night, Joey. 0-0 down at Grand Gully Reserve between Grand Gully and Dandenong City. And a couple of minutes left to play in that one. 0-0 at half-time at Jack Edwards Reserve between Oakley and South Melbourne as well.
Well, here we go. Ball in. Got away from Marcus and Bear. Make it cleared.
All the goals tonight are at Churchill Reserve. St Albans leading Hume City 3-2. About 5 minutes left in that one.
Well, so none of the top 6 sides really doing much to separate themselves. Maybe another window of opportunity opening up for Melbourne City to steal a march, albeit tough test for them against Avondale coming up this week. Albeit an Avondale that would be without Bruno Fornaroli after his red card last week in their draw with St Albans.
Oh no.
Here we go. Is this a chance in transition for Heidelberg? Kieran Brumwell. Tsitsipas in his way again and forced him wide enough to affect the shot and enable Siciliano to make the save. Leo Marzis, 87th minute. Rasmovsky on him like white on rice. Out to Theoharis. Theoharis trying to work his way in. Goal kick. It's going to be a big week across, well, all of Victorian football. Tomorrow, Melbourne Knights heading to face Manningham in the VPL1, a win in which would all but, you would think, get Melbourne Knights promoted back to the top tier.
Yeah, massive game for them tomorrow.
It's a very intriguing promotion race, isn't it, in the VPL1? You've got 3 teams, Melbourne Knights in there battling for it. You've also got Brunswick Juventus and Northcote, 3 teams competing for 2 automatic promotion places.
Yeah, Northcote had a stranglehold on that and then just faded away the last few weeks.
Well, Pope from range!
Can't blame him for having a shot from there.
My series of Pope-related goal-scoring puns go to naught as he sends that one over the bar. Meanwhile, late change for Heidelberg United. Joseph Lee, who initially wasn't on the team sheet but looks to have replaced Ben Collins, who, as we mentioned, was a late out. He'll come on. So the Kiwi striker, can he provide some late legs? So 88 and a half minutes gone on the scoreboard here at Olympic Village. A Barney sliding challenge from Maker. Still able to get it to Lesiotis. Abani's gone down behind play, but play on is the call. Theoharis stood up by his marker, cuts into the left. High ball over the head of his teammates.
I thought that was a good ball into the area, Joey. Just neither Bramwell or Choctaw read that properly. Both went the same direction, got in each other's way. One of them needed to peel off into the area that ball was delivered.
Caroline Springs preparing a late change as well. Will enter with effectively no regulation time remaining. Just 30 seconds left of the 90. Pope wins a free kick. So it will be Jonathan Alevras who will come on, but it doesn't look like he'll get his summons just yet. We'll let you know he will. And he will replace Yagub Mustafa for however many minutes of added time is signalled for. 4 minutes of added time. So 360 seconds for these two sides to find what would almost certainly be the winner at this point. Mustafa doesn't look in too much hurry to come off. Siciliano sends it long. Razumovsky with a defensive header. Good ball out to the right. The Georgies have come forward late. Heidelberg scramble, get the initial block in. And then look to break quickly before the Georgies can get it set up in their defensive structure. Lesiotis keeps the play moving. Left to right, Razmovsky to Theoharis. The visitors get numbers back though. Theoharis loses a couple, then loses his footing. Mortakudis. Saniel comes up to keep him company as he gets it to left lane. The drum sounds in the stands as Heidelberg look to fashion something late in search of a desperately needed 3 points. Theoharis stood up, forced backwards, touched central, Maker with the challenge. Saniel shields it well before losing it eventually to Razmovsky's challenge. Lee gives it away as he looked for Choctaw. Getting a bit frantic late on. Here come the Burgers once more. Theoharis waits for players to arrive in the middle. Advances to the edge of the penalty area. Onto his left and you shoot, but it'll be rather comfortably saved in the end by Christian Siciliano.
Did well to get that shot away. George Cross have been blocking those shots all night.
But the clearance from the George Cross keeper, not the best. Bounces out for a throw-in. We've played 3 of the 4 added minutes. Entering last chance saloon areas for Heidelberg if they are to take something from this game. Lofted forward. Rumwell can't charge it down. Have to win this ball back, Heidelberg, if they want to create something. Have to get it forward to George Cross if they want to win this one late. Lee to Theodoropoulos. Not the best pass. Almost teed up George Cross to get forward. Marzis was there. Wins a throw-in, so it looks like maybe George Cross will get the last opportunity to attack in this game. Or will they? Sloppy turnover. Theodoropoulos to Lee. Terrible pass.
That's the perfect way to put it, Joey. That's a shocking pass, especially the dying stages of the game.
One might think that could be it. Booted clear. Ball will bounce, nodded on. Behind Pope, though, that might be George Cross's last chance. The Heidelberg get one more. Thea Harris. Long ball forward. Siciliano came out but then thought better of it. Cleared away. Throw in for Heidelberg, but the referee's looking at his watch. So you have to think it's now or never now. Chokdale trying to turn. Theodoropoulos. Thea Harris. Christian Thea Harris, 2 players to beat. The first one takes it from him, and that will be all that was written at Olympic Village. Both sides, they huff and puff, but cannot blow their foes down. And it ends Heidelberg 0, George Cross 0 in the Senol NPL Men's Victoria clash.
Yeah, that won't go down the memory bank, that one. I think everyone will want to quickly forget about that game. 0-0, definitely a fair result. Both sides really struggled throughout that 90 minutes. Heidelberg a little bit better in that second half, but draw definitely a fair result.
Indeed. Well, it finishes scoreless here in Melbourne's inner north. A bit of a theme from around the grounds. It's gone full time out in Green Gully as well. That one 0-0, Green Gully, Dandy City. Still 0-0 in Oakley, South Melbourne. That game's still on if you want to flick over. St Albans leading Hume City 3-2 in the final stages of that one, and 1-0 to Preston against Bentley at halftime of that one. But this contest will end with neither side, well, a draw. They take a point, but not much more benefits. Heidelberg now 7 games without a win in the Victorian top flights. George Cross missed the opportunity to jump into the top 6. Heidelberg, well, another stiff challenge awaits them next week, where they will travel to the Reggio Calabria club to take on Avondale. George Cross, they will hit the road as well to take on the Altona Magic, and what is possibly a must-win game for them if they want to be playing finals football. And then the league will break for a week for the Doherty Cup final, which will involve Heidelberg United playing against Preston as part of their busy schedule. But as a reminder, you can catch all of the action from the league and Doherty Cup live and free on YouTube. The Senol NPL Men's Victoria campaign, the Senol NPL Women's Victoria campaign, which is in the midst of a barn-burning push for the Premier's Plate. 4 or 5 teams in with a chance to win that. They're all available on the NPL Victoria YouTube page. Make sure you're subscribed. Be a friend, tell a friend, get them subscribed as well. For now, though, that is where we will leave you. My name has been Joey Lynch. It's been my absolute pleasure to be joined on the call by Mark Ivkovic.
Likewise, Joey.
For now, though, that is where we will leave you on another evening. For now, thanks and success.